Now, joining me in the studio is Saths Cooper, president of the International Union of Psychological Science, to help us understand the psychological impact of this case on Oscar Pistorius. Saths, thank you so much for making time this afternoon. Now, Dr. Hartzenberg is an educational psychologist. In your opinion, should she have taken to the stand today, and what do you make of her performance?
Well, I think she should have refrained from taking the stand because clearly she did not show the necessary distance from her patient or her client, Oscar. She did not answer very simple questions that were put to her by the prosecutor, and she went out of her way to obfuscate what were fairly straightforward issues. And I think she made a poor showing in terms of trying to show that she has the expertise. An expert is an expert to the court, not for the defense or the prosecution. And that role, I think, she singularly failed in providing to the court.
And she labored quite a bit on the fact that he was remorseful. But how do we measure remorse, especially seeing that behind closed doors, it seems like, he was remorseful, but in court, did we see that? So can we really consolidate the two?
You see, there isn't a single measure of showing remorse. But if she had explicated that and said that in this instance, this is what happened, this is how he behaved, this was the tremendous feeling of sadness that had overcome him, the regret, the serious regret, all of which is somewhat contrary to his showing in the witness box, because here was somebody who was fairly composed, except for moments when he could not answer certain questions. But he didn't even take the necessary steps, except on the witness stand, to apologize to the family. Now, that for me it does not show the necessary ingredients, but it's subjective. It's a professional judgment that one has to make, and in this case, the judge has to make that finding.
And this was something that a lot of people struggle with. There were media reports that he was seen at a nightclub, and when she was asked whether this made sense, she said it made sense. Would you agree with her on this one?
Well, yes, it would make sense if he tried to overcome whatever he was going through to be at a nightclub and so on. But, you know, at the same time, there seems to be a sort of split personality we're seeing. The one that is the social being out there, and the very cultivated image that is being presented in court. That does not ring true with the kind of person he was. He was a very rash person, clearly negligent, and now, unfortunately, there's a life that's lost through that negligence. An extreme narcissism. He's self-absorbed to such an extent that he may be grieving for himself more than he's grieving for the loss of freedom.
And let's talk exactly about that. If he does get a jail time, how will he be able to deal with that, considering his disability as well?
Well, look, the prison system, I think, will make sure that he's in a secure facility. Unfortunately, the secure facilities now seem to be the maxi facilities, the maximum facilities. And in that facility, I think he will be able to have counseling, have the kind of supports that the prison system is able to provide, but he will be in a cell, and he has to deal with that.
Thank you so much, Saths, for your time this afternoon.